Hiya folks, I apologise, it's been a while. I've just been so busy recently not being able to get to the YouTube channel. I'm a little bit sad not being able to fly my DJI Mini 2 the last couple of weeks, so I do want to get this back into the air. Should have a video for you either tomorrow or the day after. But before we get into that, I did want to show you guys that it is now pretty much official. The DJI Air 2S is going to be released on April 15th, so that's just 3 days away as of the time of posting this video. If you've not been following along, the Air 2S is pretty much an upgrade to the Air 2 that was released last year. The Mavic title is being dropped from the name for this updated version, and it's going to be a very similar drone in terms of the specs, the weight and the style and all of that stuff, but there is going to be a notable boost to the camera performance. So there's a picture of the box. I believe that's the combo box, yes, and it includes a couple of batteries and what have you. So the official DJI website has now been updated. Get ready for the one. The one is seemingly in reference to the fact that the Air 2S is going to have a 1-inch sensor, which is quite a big improvement over the original Air 2. As far as I understand, the Air 2 was lacking in a few features because of the whole COVID thing. So a lot of the stuff that DJI originally wanted to put into the Air 2, they weren't able to do so due to sourcing various bits of components and what have you. But a lot of that is now coming, it seems, in the Air 2S. So the specs for the Air 2S are listed here for us on dronedj.com. What's notable is that the megapixel capabilities of the new camera are going to be 20, so 20 MP. Now, the original Air 2's megapixel count is 48, and that sounds like we're going to be getting a bit of a downgrade, but I'm not a camera tech by any stretch of the imagination. From what I understand, because of how this is all working, that's not going to be the case. The camera is definitely getting an upgrade over the original Air 2. So here are the video resolutions that are going to be available. Notable is the inclusion of 5.4K recording resolution up to 30 FPS. So 5472 by 3078 pixels, which is a 16:9 resolution as far as I'm aware. But of course, it's greater than the standard 4K resolution that many of us are now using. As a matter of fact, I haven't even got a monitor that could display 5.4K. I'm sure many of you guys haven't as well. But let me know in the comments if you have, if you're actually going to be able to make use of this new 5.4K recording resolution. But for the rest of us, the 4K Ultra HD is back, of course, and we can record up to 60 frames per second, which is nice. So we can get the cinematic shots that we would like to get. And as is usual with these DJI drones, we can, of course, record in 2.7K. Or if we want to drop down to full HD, which is 1920 by 1080, we can record in up to 120 frames per second. So really get that slow-mo cinematic effect if we want it. Now, in terms of the rest of the camera, you can see that we have a 20 megapixel image size, along with that 5472, that 5.4K resolution. And unfortunately, it seems this is not going to be a competitor still for the Mavic Pro 2, which is interesting because that's pushing on a bit now. A lot of people are expecting the Mavic 3 to be announced, or the Mavic Pro 3 at some point. Maybe that will come later on in the year. But for those that are waiting for that particular drone, it seems the Air 2S is not going to be the one for you. This is definitely for those that are in the Air 2 market, but perhaps didn't get the Air 2 or were a little bit disappointed with some of the camera features on it. It seems that that's where the Air 2S is going to be marketed. Okay, and let's just look at some of the other specs here of the DJI Air 2S. The maximum takeoff weight is 595 grams. This is definitely going to be relevant to those of us who are used to flying the Mini, or as in my case, the DJI Mini 2. Because at 250 grams or less than 250 grams, there are far less regulations upon a drone like this than there are on the Air 2S. Now, if you're going to be going from a drone like the Mini 2 to the Air 2S, I would strongly encourage, if you haven't already, to become a member of a flying club here in the UK, one that is recognised by the CAA. You're going to then be able to fly under Article 16 regulations, which are far less restrictive on your flying than the standard default regs for a drone of this size. The maximum flight time is rated by DJI at 31 minutes. Of course, we're probably not going to get anywhere near that in our real life flights. And the cost, also important, is apparently going to be $1,299 for the Fly More combo. So here we can see a picture of the Fly More combo. Obviously, we've got the drone, the controller, and a couple of additional batteries for 3 in total. As I say, the design is very similar to the Air 2 itself. Now, there is also an unboxing video, which I'm going to link. I'm not going to play it here because it's not my video. But in that video, the dude does go over some of the included components or the additional accessories. And it does seem you have to put the props on yourself when unboxing it, unlike the Mini 2, where the props were already installed straight out of the box. You do get the usual included additional props, the pack for charging all 3 batteries at once, and a couple of other bits as well, such as some additional sticks for the controller. A couple of things I noticed he didn't mention in this unboxing video. There didn't seem to be any kind of case or bag to store everything in. And on top of that, there didn't seem to be any kind of propeller guard as well, which I would have been expecting. Maybe it's there, maybe it just wasn't mentioned in this video, but I do just want to point that out. But I'm interested, folks, in finding out whether the information we've gained so far, learned and discovered so far, is enough to tempt you into purchasing the DJI Air 2S when it is released in a couple of days' time. I suspect most of you watching this are flyers of the Mini 2, which is, you know, what my situation is. It's the only drone I own. So this is going to be quite a big step up in my case. But I also know some of you own lots of drones and have a broad range of the DJI offerings already. Is this going to be something that will be enough for you to upgrade from what it is you're currently using? It's not a next generational leap, but it is quite a step up from some of the features that were already included with the Air 2 last year. But anyway, I do appreciate you folks stopping by today, and I'll be updating you with the Air 2S, especially if I purchase one myself. But don't worry, I won't be neglecting the Mini 2. I will still be making plenty of Mini 2 videos as and when the need to do so arises. But I appreciate you guys for stopping by. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time.